everybody, Robert here with The Green Fee, and this video is going to give you some crazy equipment predictions for 2022. Let's go.
77 like Lucas, so close to the pin you can measure with rulers. Automatic like Big Cat and computers. The squad equipped with them sticks, shooters. Drive for the dough, lift, ooh. He think he applying that pressure, but dog, I ain't blinking, ain't flinching. I'm holding my pose and I'm twirling my sticks. Go ahead and send me that picture, I'm holding my finish. Knock it within.
Like I said, today we are going to have some crazy equipment predictions for 2022. With the new year right around the corner, we're starting to see some leaks from some companies. Some companies have actually already released their 2022 product. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to sit down, go over some of these predictions with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 6 brands we're going to go over, and then I'm going to have some general ideas for what's going to happen in the industry in 2022. So the first brand I want to talk to you guys about is going to be Titleist. Now, we have seen the T-Series irons. They've already come out. Titleist has already announced those, and they are beautiful. And I don't think we are going to see a new version of the TSI driver. Titleist likes to do every 2 years on a release for those. And so I don't think we're going to see that since they came out in 2021. But 2022 is time for some new Vokey Wedges. And probably going to get some new Scotty Cameron putters. So the first thing we're going to talk about is those Vokey Wedges. Now, everyone in the industry has gone with a full face groove version or a high toe version or both, right? Jaws, the Callaway Jaws does both. The RTX does a full face and they do a high toe version on some of their clubs. So that's something that we're seeing in the industry, and I think in the SM9s, we're going to see Vokey go to that as well. So be on the lookout for that. Another one is those Scotty Cameron putters, and I think Scotty is going to give us a black putter this year. He's going to do a blackout putter in his normal line. I think he's going to get away from that metallic, that silver color that he has done. Scotty made his name on black putters, right? Those original black oxide putters that he created were absolutely brilliant putters. And he's moved away from that, moved to stainless. I don't think we're going to get black oxide putters, but I do think we're going to get something from around that 2012 line with the black putter. And I think they're going to look tremendous. Now, is he going to introduce some new head shapes? I don't think so. The Newport 2, the Delmar, those are popular shapes for him. And really, I don't think there's many reasons for him to change that. But be on the lookout for some new wedges from Titleist and a black putter from Scotty Cameron. So the next brand I want to talk to you guys about is going to be Cleveland Trixon, right? If you don't know, they're the same company. So people who play Cleveland clubs and their wedges and their putters, I think a lot of people don't know that Trixon is their parent company, and that's the same company. So what we're going to see from them, I don't think we're going to see much from Trixon. Now, I think you're going to see a lot of people playing Trixon this year with the Brooks Koepka deal. That Brooks Koepka deal is going to be massive for Trixon. But I don't think we're going to see much new product from Trixon this year. They have a big-time winner in their drivers, fairway woods. Their irons are top-notch. But I do think we'll probably see a second version of the Zip Core wedges from Cleveland. They were pretty successful. I would like to see a few more grind options out of them, and I wouldn't be surprised with everyone else offering a ton of different grinds on their wedges. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cleveland jump on board with that trend either. We're probably going to see Zip Core 2.0, like I said. They're probably going to change where they place Zip Core to give it a little bit better balance. I've played Zip Cores all year, and there were times where it probably could have been a little bit better. I love the clubs, and I would definitely love more grind options, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that Zip Core 2.0 with some new grinds. The other thing in the Cleveland Trixon lineup is Cleveland is their game improvement lineup. Their better player stuff tends to fall under Trixon, that kind of classic looking club, but those people that are willing to take a little bit of a chance, we already saw them release some new launcher drivers and hybrids and woods this year. I wouldn't be surprised if in 2022 we did not see new irons from Cleveland. Some big-time game improvement ones, something along the lines of those original CBX that they came out with. Be on the lookout for those. Those were really good irons, and they replaced them, but they weren't as popular as those CBXs. So be on the lookout for a big-time game improvement iron from Cleveland this year, along with new wedges and probably some new putters as well. Next brand I want to talk to you guys about is going to be Cobra. Now, Cobra, for those of you who don't know, is owned by Puma. And sometimes it feels like Cobra clubs are being sold just so people buy Puma clothes. But this year, I don't think that's going to be the case. This year, Cobra is going to release a new driver called the LTD-X. Now, for you guys who are new to the game and have found my channel through that, the LTD was released in, I want to say about 2012, 2013. Heck, it may be even later than that. But I feel like it was 12, 13, somewhere in there. And it has been wildly popular. Bryson DeChambeau still uses it. He loves that club. The way they got the weighting on that really was dang near perfect. And this year they're going to do a re-release of it. But what's different is it doesn't look that much like the LTD original one. It doesn't have that spaceport at the bottom. Now, that spaceport at the bottom, you could open it up, but really it was there to move weight around. And so what they've done now is they've added 2 weights very forward. Now, the prediction from Cobra here, for me, is that they're going to run into a problem with this. And they're going to have a fitting problem. I think the driver is going to be an incredible driver, but it's going to harken back to the days of the SLDR driver. A lot of people may remember the SLDR driver. The weight setup was so quirky that you almost had to loft up 2 degrees, 3 degrees in some cases. If you find an SLDR driver now, it's not uncommon to find one that had 12 degrees of loft, and it fit a guy who would play a 9.5 degree driver. You hardly saw anyone playing a 9 degree driver of that because they had so much weight forward that it really wasn't able to launch and spin without getting that extra loft. And I feel like we may run into that with Cobra this year. A lot of their tour players are saying that their drivers are spinning too much. And if they're spinning too much, then Cobra's trying to do everything they can to knock that spin down. And they may go too far this year, so that guy who's got to play a 9.5 jumps up to a 10.5, that 10.5 jumps up to a 12. That could hurt some cells, but I think if the fitters can get the fitting right with this driver, that it's going to be really good. Overall, I think Cobra's got a chance to be manufacturer of the year this year. We're getting new drivers from them, which I told you some of those problems that I see. They're releasing new Forge Tech irons, and their Forge Tech irons are incredible. I can only imagine what they're going to do with these new ones. They've been wildly popular on tour. I see them all the time. People getting fit for them at golf stores, and you see them on the course as well. They're a really good iron, and to get a new version of that is very exciting. Cobra released new putters this year. They did 3D printed putters, and I think in 2022 we're going to see another evolution of that, and I'm really looking forward to that. If Cobra can figure out wedges, they're in the money this year. If they can figure out that snake bite wedge and really get people to try it instead of the new Vokeys that are coming out, I think Cobra's got a real shot to be manufacturer of the year this year. All right, let's talk about big man on campus. Let's talk about Callaway Golf. Callaway Golf is the industry leader right now. They come out with top-notch product every year. This year, they're coming out with a new Rogue driver that we've already seen. That Rogue driver is going to have a flat matte crown. But what's going to put a lot of people off on it is going to be the gold weight in the back. May be replaceable. It would be really cool if they offered it where you can get any color that you want to on it. But I think it's going to come stock gold. And if it comes stock gold, watch for Callaway to suffer this year with that color choice. It isn't a color that a lot of guys like playing on the course. It's not a color that they're going to want in the bag. And I think from a perspective of looking at it on the shelf, people are going to go over to the Trixon. They're going to go over to the Taylormade. There are other clubs that are going to look a little bit better than the Rogue this year. But I think that Callaway will still absolutely dominate in terms of ball speed. Ball speed this year, the Rogue lineup is always stellar. Callaway kills it with that. Callaway may have the best driver this year, but a lot of people won't use it because they'll think it's ugly. Now, in terms of irons, I don't think they're doing anything special with irons this year. We're probably going to get some new Rogue irons. Look for them to have a bunch of different models like they've done with the Maverick in the past and like they've done with the Rogue in the past. Look for the Pro version of that iron to be the best game improvement iron this year. It's going to be really good. The ball speeds are going to be stupid good on it, and people are going to love them. You're going to see them in bags everywhere this year. So look for Callaway to come out with the best game improvement iron this year. Now it's time to talk Taylormade, and we have already seen Taylormade's 2022 driver, the Stealth. It came on the USGA list. It was all over the internet, and Tiger played it at the PNC Championship. So we know what it is. It is a carbon fiber face driver, and everyone that I have seen online that has hit it says it is an incredible club that will see a lot of ball speed gains from. Here's the thing though. I think it's going to be really good. We are going to see ball speeds that people haven't seen before. How they're getting around the USGA rules, I don't know, but it's going to be a very good driver. There's going to be a problem though, and that's going to be the durability of that club. The durability of that club, carbon fiber, whenever Taylormade has used it, has always been its weak point. On some of the M-Series drivers, it would actually, the T could get caught underneath a piece of carbon fiber and pull that carbon fiber back. You see the carbon fiber crown separate on multiple occasions from Taylormade drivers. And I think with some of the swing speeds, the higher swing speed player is going to love this club. They are going to see a ton of benefits from this club. But what's going to end up happening is we're going to see a lot of cracked faces. And it's going to be up to Taylormade to decide if they're going to continue this technology. You will also notice that in the fairway wood, Tiger played the Stealth fairway wood, and it did not have the carbon fiber face, or at least it didn't look like the driver one. Another thing I noticed was the sound that his club was making. Now, I know, I'm not dumb. He can hot melt that club, and it can sound like pretty much any way he wants it to. But it definitely sounded more muted than other people who were playing a titanium face driver or or even the Sim series of drivers. So it's going to be a really good driver. The question is, can guys get over the sound of it? Nike has shown us before that sometimes people can't get over the sound. That SQ, the square-headed driver that they had, it performed really well. In fact, Tiger said that he hit it too straight, which is a great problem that most amateurs would love to have, is that they hit a club too straight. Now, in terms of their putters, I don't really know what Taylormade's going to do with their putters this year. Me personally, I have never been a big fan of their insert. That pure roll insert has never been my deal. I would love to see them come out with a milled, solid milled face, but I know they're not going to. What I would be on the lookout for is a new Spider, and I would be on the lookout for a new TP collection. They went a little bit less expensive on the last TP collection, the one that was the hydro finish, where they basically just sprayed it down with high pressure water and gave it a non-glare finish. And those putters looked good, but they just weren't very popular. And I think it may have been because of the price point. So look for Taylormade to come out with a higher end putter that really starts to draw attention. So this brand right here is the brand that I probably have my hottest take on and my most controversial opinion on going into 2022. And that brand is Ping Golf. I am a huge Ping fanboy. The I-20 irons are my favorite irons ever made. I play with a Ping G410. I love their products. I was excited about the I-59, the G425. Excellent driver. Big fan of their stuff. But I think this year is a year of doom for Ping. And not because of any product that they have or that they are offering. In fact, I would venture to say that they're going to come out with a new Better Players iron that is a little bit less expensive than the I-59 that they came out with. But where they're going to run into problems, and it's something that they're already experiencing, is that they are not able to fulfill orders. People are going 6 months without getting their irons from Ping. People are going months, weeks at a time not getting their clubs from Ping. Whether that's they can't get the heads, they can't get the shafts, they can't get the grips. They're running into a lot of problems. And sadly, my prediction for 2022 is that Ping Golf will have to do some kind of restructuring within their company. I could see them filing for bankruptcy. because they're just not able to pay their vendors. I could see them laying off a massive amount of people, which is not something that I want to see happen, but something that I could see happening. And the third thing is I could see them being sold. I know that the family, the Carson family probably doesn't want to do that, and that's probably a last resort option, but it's something they may need to do. With all these new brands coming out with new clubs this year, Ping is going, and people have been waiting for 5-6 months sometimes for their clubs. Ping's going to run into a huge issue. They're going to see a mass amount of orders being canceled. People who ordered clubs in June, July last year, they're going to see them get canceled. And what does that do? That pisses off retailers, and retailers hate returns and canceled orders. But those people are going to move from Ping, and they are going to move into Mizuno. They're going to move into Taylormade. They're going to move into Callaway. Those Ping loyalists who have been loyal to the company for 20, 30 years back in the I2s, I could see them finally turning their backs on Ping, and that causing a huge problem. I don't think Ping technically right now has a cash flow problem, but some of the things I've heard is that they are really starting to struggle, and I would hate to see that happen to a big brand, a beautiful brand like Ping. But if they can't figure out their supply chain issues like a lot of other companies have, look for them to run into a ton of issues in 2022. Those are my predictions for those 6 brands that we talked about. Some really good, some not so good. But I want to give a couple of predictions for the industry as a whole. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the golf bubble. I think that golf bubble is bursting. I've been screaming this for the last 3 or 4 months, and I'm starting to see it more and more as I continue to look out for it. And I think the golf bubble is bursting. This year, we're going to see a major retailer, whether that's Golf Galaxy, PGA Tour Superstore, other stores like that, the big box golf store, we're going to see one of them really start to struggle. I don't know who. I don't think it's going to be PGA Tour Superstore. They tend to be pretty good and do a good job with their stocking levels. It could be Golf Galaxy, but they have dicks behind them. But maybe someone like an Edwin Watts could really, really, really start to struggle this year. Now, I think they're going to bring in a lot of inventory because everything is shown that there's going to be a lot of people interested in golf. But I think that's starting to wane. With things opening back up from the COVID-19 and coronavirus outbreak, I think we're going to start seeing people return to their normal lives and return to their normal hobbies. Right? Golf was a great hobby for people when they couldn't go to movies, when they couldn't go do things like that. They would go play golf instead. Baseball leagues, soccer leagues, those all shut down, so kids weren't able to play in those leagues, so their parents were trying to find ways to get them out of the house, get them some exercise, things like that. And they turned to golf because it was something that could be done outside and something that a lot of places didn't close down. Now, I know some places did, but in a lot of places, golf was still allowed. So we saw a boom in golf. And then people got out there, they started to play it, and they found they kind of liked it, right? But then what I think we're seeing, and I've seen this at our local resale shops, is that a lot of kids sets are being returned. Because those kids are starting to play baseball again. They're starting to play soccer again. Volleyball's back. Basketball's back. The kids wanted to play those sports, and now they're going back to them. So, we're going to see this golf bubble burst, and especially with new equipment. And with that new equipment, we are going to see the golf bubble continue a little bit for used stuff. Prices for used equipment has gone down a little bit over where it was earlier this year. But in 2022, we're going to really see the market get flooded with those people who were in the game and they wanted to leave. We're going to see the market get flooded with that used equipment. And that's going to bring the prices of everything down because that market is going to be so rich. But eventually, we're going to start to see it kind of stable off and level off and stabilize, so that you will now have a more logical market for used equipment. All right, so final prediction of the year. And this one is one that I've thought about for a while. But brand of 2022 is going to be Cobra Puma Golf. I think their new driver is going to be really good, especially once they get people fit properly. I think those new Forge Tech irons, along with, I would venture to say, probably another player set, a player CB, a muscle back, those are going to be really good. Their putters were a surprise of 2021 when they announced those, and I think they're going to fine-tune them and make them great. And then I think their wedges, they're going to figure them out this year. And I'll tell you what, the snakebite wedge was pretty good. All that combined with the one length system that a lot of people jump on and like to give a try. I think a lot of people, if they just give it a try, are going to be really, really impressed by what Cobra Puma Golf does this year. So, I think that is going to be my brand of 2022. Those are my predictions for the crazy year that could be 2022. I went over 6 brands. I've given you a couple of predictions, including brand of the year, and I cannot wait until the end of 2022 when I come back and I review this video. I look at it and see how terribly wrong I was. I look forward to that. I look forward to spending 2022 with you guys. Hit them straight. Have a good year.